The influence of business on the educational system. Let's use secondary schools as an example. But of course, this structure can be used for all schools. Paulo Freire used a metaphor to describe students as empty containers, where educators must deposit knowledge into them. He called this the banking concept. Now let's take one step further and compare our educational system structure to a structure of a business, like a bank. The BC Minister of Education was selected by taxpayers so that he could be in charge of the educational system. His position is just like a position of a CEO, as the CEO is in charge of the entire organization. Like the BC Minister of Education, the CEO is selected by shareholders. Now, let's take a closer look at the different districts under the BC Minister of Education. Like the districts under the BC Minister of Education, the CEO is in charge of several different regions. Each school district has a superintendent, just like how each region has a regional manager. Now, let's take it even further. Let's look at School District 38 as an example. As we can see, this particular school district is in control of 9 separate high schools. Just like in a business where one regional manager is in control of 4 separate bank branches. And inside each school within the district has a principal, just like a manager at each branch location of the bank. Let's look at Richmond High School as an example. Inside Richmond High, we have the administration, counselors, teachers, and student council. Just like how in each branch we have production, customer service, marketing, and human resources. And as we can see, schools can also be divided into different departments like a business. Now let's take a closer look and compare the departments within a school and a business. The customer service department in a business is very similar to the administrative department in several ways. They are designed to enhance customer satisfaction, produce services such as making appointments, answering phone calls. They're there to deal with complaints and organize files and assist the principal or the manager. The production department is the heart and soul of a business as it produces or delivers valuable goods or services to customers. Teachers are the same as they are responsible for reproducing valuable knowledge in students. The Human Resources Department of a business deals with hiring, transferring, firing, and promoting employees. It is also responsible for arguments, conflicts, training, and performance evaluations. Human resource employees are just like the school counselors, who are responsible for course planning, future planning, resolving issues and conflicts students may have, helping students who are struggling, and even placing students in ESL courses if they need additional training. The marketing department in a business has many responsibilities, including determining budgets for programs, finding ways to generate funding, and advertising. This is very similar to student council as they plan and promote a wide variety of activities to students, such as camps, ski trips, and many other activities. Can you see the similarities now? After comparing the two systems, I feel like there's a strong correlation between the two. After all, sales can be measured by a student's test scores, and the parents are just like the customers in a business because they pay the taxes. Now, since the school really isn't a business, why is our current educational system structured like this? I have a couple theories that I would like to share. Theory number one that I have is that schools are structured with a hierarchy because, like a business, it is easy for one person to control everything in a setting. This is a perfect example of authority in the social mechanism, and this idea works with what Paulo Freire wrote about oppressors and the oppressed. Why is this a problem? Well, people are taught based on what the highest authoritative figure wants. This means that the ideas of the oppressors are forced upon the oppressed. This limits freedom and creativity. Education should be a two-way system. Theory number two is that schools are managed like a business because they are like mass production faculties where the same product is being made in large quantities. For schools, the product is knowledge and teaching is like the production process. Social classes generated ways of being, alienation, and hierarchies of knowledge is then produced in students the same way until all students are manufactured into a final identical product. In a production faculty, products must meet a standard. Schools are also the same as students must meet minimum requirements for graduate. Why is this a problem? Every child is unique and different. Therefore, they should not all be forced by the educational system to be the same. Different child may also have different strengths and weaknesses, meaning they may need extra attention in different ways. It is not right to destroy creativity and diversity between individuals. So how can we change the future educational system to improve and still provide diversity? Another way the educational system has been impacted by the business world is with the protection of intellectual property. The purpose of protecting intellectual property is to ensure that people are given credits for unique ideas and to ensure that the right people are earning profits resulting from their idea. So why should students be concerned with profits and giving credit to people? In order to learn effectively, students need to produce the idea taught to them by teachers and apply them, or help them shape new ideas. Sharing and discussing knowledge would be encouraged. However, the protection of intellectual property has negatively impacted this process. majority of knowledge a student is able to reproduce is a result of their teachers and what they have learned from others. For example, when a student learns how to do basic math, they are not required to remember who came up with that idea, as that would be a useless piece of information. So why is it that plagiarism has become such a huge issue when a student's intention is not to make money or take credit for another individual's idea? This is a problem because the focus is not only on a student's ability to use ideas and learn, but rather if they are cheating by stealing ideas. When students are told that ideas are valuable and credits must be given to the right people, there is a tendency for them to withhold knowledge from their peers. A lack of discussion can cause students to miss out on ideas from their peers and prevent greater ideas from being collectively generated. This is especially true when one student keeps a great idea from a project a secret. While this may benefit them individually, the classmates will not be able to benefit from the discussion of the idea. If, however, the student were to share their ideas, the collective input of the class would be used to create even greater ideas, plus everyone would benefit from that knowledge. Over the years, our educational system have seen slight improvements and updates in content. However, this is not enough. The prescribed curriculum and current teaching methods have hindered the ability for child to think both critically and creatively. This is why we believe that something needs to be done. Our current educational system will not improve on its own. As a potential candidate for the next generation of educators, the future is in our hands.